Pooja Tripathi, repeatedly, you've had the Prime Minister who's called out the opposition, including your political outfit, for trying to, A, defame the Hindu faith, 2, having a slavery mindset where you will go at any lengths to discredit the government just because it's holding a festival like the Kumbh.
Preeti, Kumbh, or for that matter, any religious congregation that that celebrates devotion, that celebrates religion, and celebrates this Astha ka Parv, what we say, Bharatiya Janata Party does not have a copyright to it. The irony is, Prime Minister Modi ji said the statement, sharing the state with Acharya Dhirendra Shastri, who went on to say that those who were killed in stampede, those who were dead in stampede, attained moksha and were not dead. So does Prime Minister confer to this absolutely ridiculous, insensitive statements by Acharya Dhirendra Shastri? The point here is, any question asked on mismanagement, any question asked on fixing accountability, any question asked why there is demarcation of VIP ghats and ghats for general public, any question asked on why there have been nefarious attempt to, give a cover up on the number of casualties, be it on the New Delhi rail stampede, railway ministry goes on to say that's a stampede-like situation, and on Moni Amavasya, anything is anti-Sanatan. Any question that you ask, any suggestion that you put across is anti-Sanatan, and this goes on to that this is it's just a political score point.
Pooja Tripathi, you know what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a quick break here, because we'll just play out at the back of which the Prime Minister and many BJP leaders have called out the opposition, suggesting that you can't discredit the Kumbh. Call out the mismanagement, but don't politicize what they're saying. And, we're going to cut across to Mamta Banerjee, who called the Maha Kumbh Mrityu Kumbh, and which was seconded by Akhilesh Yadav. Listen in, and the response of Yogi Adityanath at the back of it.
Maha Kumbh আমি নাইবা বললাম, ওটা এখন মৃত্যু কুম্ভ হয়ে গেছে, মৃত্যু কূপের মতো। আমি মহাকুম্ভকে সম্মান করি, আমি শ্রদ্ধা জানাই, পবিত্র গঙ্গা মাকে আমি সম্মান করি, কিন্তু প্ল্যানিং না করে এত হাইপ তুলে এত লোকের মৃত্যু বললেন 30 জন, কথাটা কি সঠিক? কত ডেড বডি ভাসিয়ে দিয়েছেন নদীতে?
देखिए, ममता बनर्जी जी ने जो कहा है वेस्ट बंगाल की मुख्यमंत्री ने, ठीक ही कहा है। उनके लोगों की भी जान गई है, और एक बहुत बड़े अंग्रेजी प्रतिष्ठित अखबार ने भी ये बात कही थी कि बंगाल के लोग जिनकी जान गई उनका नाम सूची में नहीं है। तो बड़ी संख्या में लोगों की जान गई है जो बंगाल या और प्रदेशों से आए थे। एफआईआर भी नहीं दर्ज हो रही है। लोगों के साथ खिलवाड़ हुई, उनकी भावना के साथ खिलवाड़ हुई, उनके इमोशन का फायदा भारतीय जनता पार्टी उठा रही है। जो ममता बनर्जी जी ने कहा वो ठीक कहा है कि लोगों की जान गई है, और जान इतनी गई है कि सरकार नहीं बता पा रही है।
गिद्धों को केवल घास मिली, सुअरों को गंदगी मिली, संवेदनशील लोगों को रिश्तों की खूबसूरत तस्वीर मिली, आस्थावानों को पुण्य मिला, भक्तों को भगवान मिले। मतलब सबने अपने स्वभाव और चरित्र के अनुसार चीजों को देखा।
So Ashutosh, at this point of time where you have the opposition suggesting that the government of the day is using faith to mask incompetence, the larger question is also constant criticism of the Maha Kumbh, where, if you look at just in terms of numbers, one would suggest, or at least the government would like us to believe, that half of the Hindu population, believers, have already taken the dip. So when, the context of faith is so strong, to constantly go after the Maha Kumbh, would you think is also somewhere down the line, will backfire politically on you?
So, Preeti, I think the government is in a mood to hide everything behind the religion. The fact of the matter is, what did the CPCP report says? Any government should have been ashamed of the report which Central Pollution Control Board has given. Are these pilgrims supposed to take a dip into such water? Just imagine. Will you take a dip into such water? So who should be blamed for this? The government should be blamed, or the opposition should be blamed? Are the people who are taking a dip in the Kumbh, they should be blamed? Who should be blamed? Whose responsibility was this to provide a clean Ganga water so that all those pilgrims who are coming should take at least a proper dip there. Somebody who's coming back from there after the dip, you can imagine the kind of trauma they must have gone all through. Secondly, whose responsibility was this to manage the traffic and the crowd over there? Is it the responsibility of Akhilesh Yadav or Mamata Banerjee or anybody else? So if anybody is asking a question, you immediately brand them as anti-Muslim, anti-Hindu or anti-Sanatani, anti-religion. Is it their copyright?
Okay.
Who has given them the copyright? Who has given them the contract that from today onwards, you will be the responsible for the Hindu religion? It's not about Hindu religion. It's about the gross mismanagement. Who is responsible for the deaths of the people who died at the New Delhi railway station?
All right.
Is it the
So
government
basically-
or the opposition? Should we blame Arvind Kejriwal for that? Should we blame Akhilesh Yadav? Should we blame Mamata Banerjee?
So you're
there is an
suggesting that the
incompetent
government
railway
is
minister-
trying to mask with faith where incompetence is concerned. But Charu Pragya, when I want to bring you into this conversation as well, we have Rajat Sethi as well. I just want to take our viewers on, a few incidents that have gone by and which the opposition is now quoting to suggest that there's incompetence, there's mismanagement. And by calling out mismanagement, how does it make them anti-Hindu? And Charu Pragya, January 29th, at least 30 people killed. The numbers are more right now near the Sangam area. There were a second stampede on the January 29th itself, where just 2 kilometers away from the first spot. February 15th, 18 people killed in a stampede at the New Delhi railway station. There have been multiple incidents of fire as well. But Charu Pragya, the bigger question now is to constantly label people who call out mismanagement as anti-Hindu. How does that work? Sometimes, criticism can be constructive as well.
Preeti, criticism is welcome. Criticism which is constructive is always welcome. But please tell me, how is calling the Kumbh Mrityu Kumbh constructive criticism? Who are you criticizing by calling it Mrityu Kumbh? Because the name calling is being done to the Kumbh, not to the government, not to a political party and not to a person. When Lalu Prasad Yadav says Kumbh faltu hai, is he criticizing the government or the management, or is he criticizing the Kumbh itself? When Akhilesh Yadav agrees with Mamata Banerjee's statement of Mrityu Kumbh, yet goes and takes a dip in the Kumbh himself and returns saying he experienced a surge of positive energy, please tell me what is politics and what is the truth. There is Mallikarjun Kharge, who's again calling bad names to the Kumbh, but DK Shivkumar, Digvijay Singh, Sachin Pilot, Ajay Rai, amongst others, are tall Congress leaders who go and take a dip in the same Kumbh. Now, understand one thing, pretending to be criticizing the Kumbh, while you are actually criticizing a religion itself is not going to get you anywhere. Please understand this. Please don't say you're talking about the management of things, because you've never mentioned management. Every single word is followed by the word Kumbh. Otherwise, wouldn't you have said Mrityu Sarkar hai? Faltu party hai? You have continued to say Mrityu Kumbh hai, Faltu Kumbh hai, so on and so forth, and that is not done. If you are talking about the unfortunate incidents of deaths that happened in the Kumbh, they are extremely regretted, and everybody with folded hands has prayed for the departed souls and made sure responsibility was fixed. But tell me, did this happen because the CCTVs were not working? Did this happen because the authorities didn't do their work? Or did this happen because an unprecedented amount of people were in one place at the same time?
Okay. Rajat Sethi, I want to bring you in. Would you think that maybe the opposition is handing it on a platter to the Bharatiya Janata Party by constantly invoking Kumbh instead of criticizing the party or the government?
Frankly, that is their job. It's not like any of these opposition leaders are some paragons of governance and their governance models are being celebrated. They have faltered at their own in their own events in their respective states, Akhilesh Yadav included. Constructive criticism and suggestions and lending a helping hand, that goes part of how such social programs and social religious programs are to be done. I mean, you might belong to a different political camp. It doesn't mean that your cadres, party people can't come in and support. See, there has to be a different way of adding to the discourse where half the nation's feelings are associated with. You can't go out and simply shun it. And I repeat it, and I've said this several times before. Even in the previous Maha Kumbh, Akhilesh Yadav faced with incidents where deaths have happened. That did not stop. I was at Harvard, I was studying, and we compiled this massive document in form of a book to publicize Maha Kumbh around the world. And we talked about all the good things that Akhilesh Yadav's government has been able to do. And the local administration, how did they even go about organizing such a massive scale event? Nowhere. I mean, it's incredible the amount of scale that this event has.
But Rajat
Yes,
Sethi, though,
there are
the
learnings
deaths,
all along, and those are also
the deaths
documented
the last
each
time around
time.
were politicized. The BJP did go after the
That's what I'm saying.
Samajwadi Party government.
I started off with that the opposition's job is to criticize. That's fine. But also, you don't have to like perpetually go after the entire event itself. Mahakumbh has genuine feelings associated with large proportions of the Hindu followers in our country. If you want to do that, it will come at your political cost. Be prepared for that. If not, if you want to, swing by that, you have to ensure that you're also coming up with some level of constructive cooperation on the Mahakumbh. If you can't do that, rather be quiet.
All right.